I made a vow, a promise to myself. Like, I never want my mom to experience that type of pain. I don't want her to lose a son. The emotion of having lost my brother was gone because my mother was going through something. If somebody comes to me as the first time I'm by, I get to understand what you're looking for.
Okay.
So it's important to know where you are in terms of income-wise, your credit, how much do you actually have allocated to purchase the property.
I rather encourage a young person read the Bible.
100%.
Bible will never lie to you. Is Hi, Sherry. Welcome to Bella Let's Talk. Today we have a beautiful conversation that I'm so excited about to actually have with one of my friends, a really good brother. And I want him to introduce himself. How are you?
I'm thinking of Bella. My name?
Yeah.
Clement. Yahtzee. Real estate broker here in the GTA.
Ooh.
Yeah. What's the ooh?
No, like, because it's something I always was interested into, but I feel like it's a lot of work. Like, can you, like, how does it look like?
It's so funny because we were talking, you think it's like selling sunset, in it? No, it's honestly, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's something that real estate, a lot of people who are real estate agents, you don't wake up and say like, oh, I really want to be a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, my journey to become a real estate agent was more, I like how it happened. It was more natural because I started with architecture. When I was in architecture, I went to school for architecture.
Yeah.
Then I worked in an architecture firm for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I wasn't as passionate about it. But what really interested me was the developers who were working in the architecture firm to come in and those kind of discussions. That was very interesting to me. Then I saw the developers were working with a lot of realtors. Then that's when my interest came in. And I used to listen to this guy called Grant Cardone for the longest time, and he was so deep into real estate.
Yeah.
So that captured my interest. I really wanted to get into it, and I just did not know how to do it.
Yeah.
But so my journey into real estate was, I think, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's been
really
good so far.
interesting because, like, I know a lot of young people who start, but I think they ended up not even following it. Once they get to that place, I think there's an exam you have to take or something.
I mean, now it has changed a lot from when I started. When I started, all you had to do was 5 courses, and actually only had to do 3 exams, 3 courses, I would say.
Yeah.
Then you get your license. Then you do the last 2 as you're practicing, which I thought was really good. But now you actually have to go to college, Humber College, and they have like a whole program. I'm actually not sure how the program looks like right now, but I think you have a whole program that you have to go through to get the whole to get a real estate license in Ontario, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. But if for somebody who's interested, like a young person who really want to get into real estate, would you advise it, or is it like a long journey, or does it drain you? Like, do you make money?
I mean, I would say get into it if you have the right mindset behind it. Like, because I know the thing about real estate, what you see on the face of it is not really what is going on. So a lot of people who get into it, they think it's the glamour, you know, like what you see online, what you see on social. I mean, I play a part of it, so I can't complain. But what you see out there is really not what is on the back end. So I would say have a conversation with somebody like myself, have a conversation with another real estate agent, and let them give you the ins of what's going on. Because I can tell you, it is a grind. It's not as
smooth.
It's not as what you see out there. Like when you see like property pictures, you see agents dressed so good out there and talking about this and that. It's not just that. It's the conversation that you've had to have. I'll say for me, it has actually taught me a lot about the dynamics about relationships and what to look out for when you're getting into, like, personally per se. Because I have clients who have really opened up. And that having the ability to kind of have those conversations is important. But there's that side because you're dealing with a lot of emotions behind it, you know. And there's also the aspect of you, like any business, you have to generate income. You have to get to know people. You have to, what you call leads per se. You have to see how you can connect with a lot more people out there.
Yeah.
But it's good. Anybody who wants to get into it, I'll say this: if you're getting into it with the thought process, I'm just gonna make money, it's gonna be easy. I would say then probably you have the wrong mindset. Like a lot of people who joined in 2021, because that was the time when the market was at a peak, where everything was just selling within hours. Really, you didn't have to do anything.
Wow.
So a lot of people who joined at that time, a lot of them are dropping out.
Yeah.
But if you join with the mindset of you're trying to build for the future, you're patient, you do the right things with it.
Yeah.
I think honestly, really, for me, it's the best thing for me. I love it.
I love that you love it, but I feel also like, I don't know, when I look at it, like I feel like in America they make it easier than us, the Canadians. And also I don't know if it's because of the economy, but the economy has gone bad for both countries. But I don't know what it is, but it's like, do you think it's a lack of focus or like a motivation, you would say? Because
I mean, first, obviously, America has a higher population compared to Canada. That's for sure. That's one thing. Then the other thing is the price point is different. And I'm going off of Ontario.
Yeah.
In Ontario as compared to the States. Because if you look at the GTA, an average property today is at over $1 million. If you go to the States, that is completely different. I mean, obviously it depends on which pockets you're looking at. If you're going to New York, it's completely different from if you're looking at somewhere like Dallas, Texas, and all those type of areas. But I would say the States is more of an income generating type of real estate where you can create a lot of passive. I'm not saying you can't do that here. You can also do that here, but you can do it on a higher magnitude in the States. In terms of transacting in the business, I honestly, I think Ontario, I think GTA is better.
It's better?
I that's how I find it. I mean, in the business per se, like the States, you have access to be able to reach out to people a little bit better compared to here, because here they have there's a lot of stipulations you have to go through. In the States, you can literally see somebody who's about to go into a foreclosure. Here you can't really see, because like those type of deals you can't. You're not able to see, not unless you're a mortgage broker, but there's some legalities behind that.
But also before I get to actually ask you the questions why we're here, can you help us really understand, mostly for like a person who want to buy a house, what is the top 5 steps would you advise somebody?
The top 5 steps? Wow, man. You put me on the spot, innit?
I have to.
Okay, so the top 5, I'll say an initial conversation is important. So we're talking like, let's say a first-time home buyer, right?
Yes, yeah.
So let's say a first-time home buyer, the initial thing is, because I'll tell you, the natural thing that a lot of people do, they go online and they look at properties. They're like, oh, wow, it would be good to buy this. Like, I wonder if I can buy this. I don't even know what's going on there. So I always say the initial step is to have a conversation with either a mortgage broker or a real estate agent. So since I'm here, I'll say like a real estate agent would be good, because a lot of times real estate agent will have all that together, like a full team. I have that put together where if somebody comes to me as a first-time home buyer, I get to understand what you're looking for. So it's important to know where you are in terms of income-wise, your credit, how much do you actually have allocated to purchase a property. So whatever you have in terms of savings for a down payment, don't look at it from the perspective of, I saw this house, which is $800,000. I don't even think I can afford it. I'm going to leave it alone. You look at it from, okay, this is how much I have. I've saved up $50,000. What can I do with $50,000? There's some first-time home buyers incentives that you can look into. So I would say that's the first thing to do. Then the second thing is, it's good to have, I always call it a buyer consultation. So in that, it's going to be the same thing, but a buyer consultation will kind of talk about the type of properties that you're interested in. The process literally from A to Z in terms of what to look into, like the whole real estate process per se, Then from there is when we go out and look up some properties. Once you get your pre-approval, once you get your approval done by a mortgage broker, because I think that's a good step as well to go through. Once we have, like, you can't purchase anything more than $600,000, because we know your budget is going to allow you to, because when you're looking at it in real estate as well, it's very important where the purchase price and what you can do on a monthly rate, those are 2 different things. So a lot of people focus so much on the purchase price, but that's not necessarily what you're buying. You're buying the monthly payments. So the monthly payments is the down payment that you're putting. So you're buying a property of 600,000. You have, let's say, 100,000. So you're getting a mortgage of 500,000. In that, there's other costs like land transfer tax. There's these land transfer tax. There's lawyer fees. There's inspection fees. There's all those fees all together. So those are separate costs. So you're getting a mortgage from that 500,000, and in terms of a monthly payment, so you shop around for interest rates. So your monthly payment could come in around 2,500, $3,000, $4,000, wherever you end up at. So that's what you're really shopping at. And so you look at it and you say, $3,000, I can't do that. I want to be a little bit on the lower side, So that is what would direct you on how to move forward.
Okay, I totally understand. Thank you, because I see a lot.
If you want to talk real estate, I'll turn this into a whole seminar.
No, but seriously, let's do one. Actually, I know a lot of young people really want to buy houses, but then outside of like everything, everybody's putting it. It's like, oh, no younger person can buy a house. But I feel like if you organize yourself,
Most
you
definitely.
can. Yeah.
That's one thing. I do want to do a seminar pretty soon. I'm actually going to do one.
Okay.
I'm going to do one. I'll send out a link and where everybody can go in there and just kind of go in there and pretty much RSVP per se, or just sign up. Yeah, sign up is the right word. Yeah, sign up. And because in those seminars, what I found when I'm doing, because I do a lot of buyer consultations, a lot of people have the same sentiments as what you just said. Like they just think, I really can't do it. I don't know what to do. But in reality, there's a lot of incentives. If you just understand what you... Another thing is, a lot of people sometimes feel discouraged because they feel like, I can't do much. But what we do, my team, is we create a plan for you. I've had clients who I've met for the first time, and they were not able to do anything at that moment. But after a year and a half, they were in a position like, hey, Clement, we did everything, we're good to go. And that's when I set them up and we go ahead and look at properties. I still, even in the beginning, even if you can't do what I do sometimes, I don't do it all the time. What I could do is I can go and show you some of the properties that could line up with what you really want. So, step into what you want, view it, feel it. Then from there, we set up a clear plan. And we call it a real estate action plan. So from there, we'll tell you, okay, this is what you need to focus on, bring in this amount, this is what's going to happen. And I'll always check up with you pretty much once a month or once every 2 months, whatever you allow me to. I'll blow up your phone.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested. I'm eager.
No, this is the stuff that I really want to actually do. Like I want to really, and it's one of those things. I know I don't push it out there as much, and I really want to do as much as well. Like do seminars, do some lives on Instagram. I've always had a problem with doing all those type of things, so I really want to push that out there coming. Before the end of the year to next year, let's say.
You have to.
I'll try.
And now my question is, I know you were not born in Canada.
How do you know that? Yeah, that's true.
And seriously, your focus, like it's as if you had a mentor to lead you to become who you are. I admire it so much.
Yeah.
That's so
awesome. I appreciate
please, can you tell us a little bit of you as a young man, like when did you get to Canada and how did everything go for you?
Man, you got time? How did I get to Canada? Honestly, it's just by this stroke of luck or favor, however you can put it. So I used to go to this school in Kenya called Brook House. Okay. It's a private English British system school. And in there, some teacher, I shouldn't say some teacher, one of my teachers really was starting off this new, trying to take students to Canada. Because the natural flow is actually, when you go to British system school, you go to UK. Right? Then this teacher was starting he was trying to try this whole new agency thing. And I remember he talked to me about it, talked to another guy about it. It was one of my close friends as well. And he talked to us about it. And it was like, well, I have this opportunity to go to Canada. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do in Canada? And then he was like, what are you interested in? I was like, architecture. So he was like, well, I have some openings. Let's try it. Let's see if it's going to work. And talked to, I don't know, my pops was not for it, to be honest.
Yeah, mostly African parents, you tell them you're traveling alone.
My pops, but my mom fought for it. my mom, like we didn't have the cash to, like, we
Yeah.
didn't have the full on cash to really come at that point. But my mom fought for it, for me to come out here.
Yeah.
And so I got the opportunity to get here. I was told I was going to go to Calgary. I had no idea what Calgary was. I was like, what is that? You know, but I was like, it's Canada, let's go. It's an opportunity. You see a crack, go at it.
Yeah.
You know? So
How old were you? Sorry.
I was, at that time, I was 18 years old.
No way.
Yeah, I was 18 years old. It was insane. Like, I had
Alone?
like, what?
You came alone at 18?
Yeah, solo. Like, no clue.
Wait a minute.
It was so messed up. You know, the thing is, that whole thing is, I think it's just, when I think of it, I'm just like, I don't even know how this whole happened.
No, that was God itself. Because
100%.
there's no 18. Okay, we came when I was 14. At 16, I started drinking, smoking because, like, you get it. You know, these countries, it's hard for you to, like, stay focused, right?
100%.
And you are a man. You're coming without your parents at 18. You know what you want? No.
And you know how it is in Africa. You're so, like, you're in a strict house. You're not allowed to do much. Then you come here, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. It was so weird because you have that whole freedom. You're like, huh?
So why didn't you take it?
Oh, man, you gotta get deep with me now, eh? Honestly, it's my mother.
Oh.
That's the biggest thing because
yeah,
it's my mother. Honestly, it's my mother because, like, that is, like, the honest truth. I don't share this much. Like, the honest truth, what kept me in line was because I lost my brother. I lost my brother when I was, like, super young. I used to be afraid to, like, he died when he was around 17, 18 years old.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Your older brother or younger?
My older brother.
Oh,
so
no.
I was super young at that time. Like, we can get into, like, it was the most messed up thing.
Yeah.
But when my brother died, I remember, I always remember this very vividly. I don't know if my mom's gonna watch this, gonna surprise her. I remember this vividly because I remember we came home and I could see, like, you know, when you see a mother mourn the death of their child.
Yeah.
And she was in her room, like, I remember everything. Like, I go in there and I could see how she had some people around her and she was trying to hold herself together because I was walking into the room.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I even not forgot, but I kind of, the emotion of having lost my brother was gone because my mother was going through so much pain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I remember it so vividly because because in Kenya, like, we were in Nairobi and you have to, like, burial happens in the village. So Nairobi, and when we were leaving the house, I heard how, like, mom was screaming, like,
it's painful.
like
17,
like screaming.
Young.
So I remember that voice a lot, and I made a vow, a promise to myself, like, I never want my mom to experience that type of pain because of either me. I don't want her to lose a son in the sense of drugs, me not doing the right thing, or her, like, in a way where I don't want her to be worried about me. Because she's already lost a son. I don't want her to be worried, like, oh, what's going on in my boy? Like, I don't want her to go through any anxiety at all. So that was a commitment that I made, and that helped me a lot when I moved here. I still had a few moments here and there, but I always had that in the back of my head. And obviously the grace of God too, to be honest. And that kept me on track.
I'm so proud
a
of
lot.
you. Seriously.
So it sounds like I had a mentor, but a lot of times I never really had a mentor per se. I always relied on books. I relied on videos that I would listen to. Like, I listened to Grant Cardone a lot. Like, I used to listen to his books over and over and over again. Then there's some other guys. I used to listen to just two people. And the people that I wanted to kind of, because I want family and all those things. So I saw their lives and how they were living and what they were doing. And so that kept me on track a lot.
But would you say, help me out, because I've been having a lot of conversation with young people. And young people now, I don't know what it is. They all say, I want a mentor. And I'm like, who really going to mentor you if you are not directing your life in a place where somebody will even take honor to mentor you, right? And to hear your story, I'm still shocked at the age of 18. for you to come in this country where you have the freedom, but yet still focus on, I'm going to school. I may not like what you were doing first, to switch and to become who you are. Like, that's amazing. But would you say it was a mindset, and what made you like tell yourself like, yo, I'm here alone, right? I don't need to keep on crying that I'm alone. Because that's what we see in our generation. Everybody's broken,
Yeah.
And like everyone, it's in they have this mindset of they want somebody. It's as if like they want somebody to come and do the work for them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that, because I believe in like I never have a mindset of anyone will come and help me. I know I have to wake up and get it done,
That's
right?
right.
So can you help us understand, like at that young age, what was in your mind to be like, let me read a book. I'm not gonna get somebody to call my name and be like, I want to mentor you, but you force yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a tough one, because what's in my mind at that time? It's really, I think there's an understanding where maybe it's an immigrant thing. I don't know, honestly, but because there's an understanding of, I know I want to be there for my family. I want to provide for my family, and there's that burning feeling that you have, like you. The thing, it's one thing to want, but it's also another thing to kind of apply, right?
That's
So,
deep.
and the application behind it, yes, you're going to have the ups and downs and all this. Like the times where you just don't feel like doing anything, the times where you just feel like, what am I doing this for? And I went through that too.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest conviction is having the understanding of where you're trying to go. And I know it's gonna sound a lot cliche, but just putting God first, honestly.
Yeah. You're not sounding cliche, it's the truth.
I would say put God first and have those type of right ethics. And the books that I'm talking about, reading and having things to listen to, positive things to listen to, those are the things that keep you
On
online.
track, yeah.
Because the only way I was able to stay on track was because I was always going back to listening to this stuff. At that time, there was no podcasts and all this stuff. It was just, I had to download what this guy's talking about on YouTube per se. And I would just listen. Like, I would just listen all the time. Sometimes I'll just play. I hardly played even music sometimes. I was just listening to all this guys. You can call them mentors per se, but that's what I was listening to the most. I picked somebody that I thought would help, somebody that I would have a hard time surpassing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be listening to this person. And obviously, let's face it, our parents play a huge factor in this too. Like for me, my mother played a huge factor, because she was constantly checking up on me. Like even the days where I just feel terrible, just a simple conversation. She has no idea what she's doing, but just a simple conversation with her kind of puts me back on track. Okay, this is what I'm doing, and also I'm here. You know, you don't want to be deported back either. You know, so you're thinking I have to make it. You know, so if I don't make it here and I go back, what am I going to do?
That's true.
You know, so you're put in a position where I need to figure this out. I need to make it work.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be it. Put yourself in a position where you have to, like,
Get
no
it
matter
done.
what, you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you fall down, because you'll fall down 100% because people will be around you that they shouldn't be around you.
Yeah.
You know, and you might be living a good on a good path, but at the same time, you don't know who is around you and what their intentions are. So sometimes that could mislead you, and it's a small thing. You know, it's not usually the biggest thing that happens right away type of thing. It's always a small thing, like maybe let's just go out to this place. Then you go out to this place, you have a good vibe, they call it. And you're like, oh, let's do it again next week. And you do it again next week. And then before you know it, it's a system in you. You're already addicted to that. But if you are aligned with either listening to somebody, just connect with somebody that you should be listening to, pick someone, I don't know, or align in prayer, or you have somebody in your life that, it doesn't have to be a lot, it should be just one person really.
Yeah.
Somebody who you genuinely respect and you understand, like if they tell you this, you're not questioning their intentions.
Yeah.
If you have that person in your life, I think that's great, because and constant conversations with that person is good. But the major one, honestly, is stay in scripture, stay in God.
Yeah.
That's the major one, I think. Because I was not as, like, how do you put it? Like, I'm
Christian.
religious, like Christian, but I was not like proper, like from where we met in church. Like, it has taken me on a different trajectory.
Yeah.
But I was not that before. But I still understood like prayer because my mom was always instilling that in me. You know,
Yeah.
my sister, was always instilling that in me.
Yeah.
You know, but I always had people who were praying for me all the time. You know, so that helped. And having like I'm not doing this for me. Like my success is gonna help a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if you have that awareness of it's not just for you, you've been put in a position where there's greater opportunity.
That will come
You
in.
know,
Yeah.
as quick as it's been given to me, it can easily be taken away too.
That's good. But I have a question. Most African people, they come up with the thing about African parents.
Yeah.
And then I heard how you were sharing that, like your mom was the one who had to fight for you to be, you know, and your dad is more like, you know, sir, sit down. Like I didn't achieve it, you're not gonna achieve, kind of thing. I don't think that was his intention, but like you know, what do you do around that kind of African parents mentality?
Now I want to say this actually. My parents were good. Like my parents were good. Like I don't want to put a bad energy. My parents were good. You know. I just connected. I just connected more with my mom's because she was always there, and she was genuinely there in the sense of I'm not saying that my dad wasn't genuinely there, but it's more of I could converse with her. You know, like when I was a kid, like I wanted to be a football player, a soccer player. Like I was taking it seriously. And I have some friends who are watching it laughing off right now, but I'm telling you, I wanted to go pro type of thing. I thought that's what I wanted to do, and I would talk to my moms about it.
Yeah.
And she took me serious.
Yeah.
So my dad, it was harsh discipline.
Okay.
It was harsh discipline.
So you're scared of him?
It was, you're raised out of fear.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way to put it. I was raised out of fear.
Yeah,
like I was afraid of my dad.
Yeah.
I would hear his car coming and I would run.
That's a typical African father.
I would run.
Listen, you know the sound of his car.
Yeah.
I knew how my grandpa walks. Like, yo, the moment you hear him, all of us were already in our room.
100%. That's exactly it. You know?
Yeah.
And like we'll go out at night,
Yeah.
or not even at night, during the day.
Yeah.
And you come in late, like my pops will be like, come home before the street lights go off.
Yeah.
Or before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Be home. So I'm playing. The sun, you get caught up when you're playing with your friends. The sun goes down. I'm like, oh, man.
You're a dad today.
You know? But the thing, what I actually as much as
Yeah.
I didn't have much of a relationship with him growing up,
Yeah.
like, it instilled discipline in me indirectly, per se.
Mm.
Because who I am, there's that discipline that I have that I knew that stove was hot, don't touch it.
Wow. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because he was...
That's strict, yeah.
You know?
But if somebody who doesn't have a father, then what would you help them with? Like, what would you...
If they don't have a father?
Yeah. That's a father figure.
If you don't have
as a man, yeah.
Do they have a mother?
Maybe.
Or is it just them?
No, they have a mother, but because a lot of people bring the excuse of like, oh, like with a man, if they don't have a father figure, most of the time, like they slide on the side.
That's true.
It's true. But at the same time, I feel like it's a mindset thing.
No, it's definitely a mindset thing. Because
Okay.
I'll share this. It's a tough one. But there's a time I completely shut off my pops.
Okay.
And that could have gone either way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was looking at it at like, you just have to make the decision. You could, just like you said, I moved here 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I had the option of either going the direction of feeling sorry for myself. I don't know anybody. Like I can do whatever. Or I go the direction of I need to make sure I am worth something. Or I'm making something out of my life, per se. Right?
Yeah.
So for those who don't have a father, I'll say get into communities where there's men, you know. Like, and I think communities like getting into some, let's say like some fighting clubs type of thing, like the jiu-jitsus or taekwondo type of thing, or boxing. getting into communities where there's this
That
man,
man
like
figure,
when we
yeah.
go to church,
Yeah.
there's this man out there,
Mm-hmm.
connect with people,
Yeah.
like watch people online that are of value and
Yeah.
just listen. Like if you see somebody that you admire,
Yeah.
I hate that whole admire thing, but somebody you actually see and you respect how they live in their life.
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you hate the admire thing?
because I think it can get miscrewed, it can get misunderstood a little bit too. Because if you don't really understand, if you don't really see how does somebody live their life, and you're
True,
just
yeah.
looking at it from
Yeah.
the front face,
It's true, yeah.
you can get lost. And
Yeah.
you've grown up looking at somebody and you're like, oh, then they do this, and you're like, oh, it actually can kill your whole
Yeah,
spirit.
that's true, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So as much as like, yes, look at somebody, I always approach it from a respect point.
Mm.
You know, so I respect how this person is doing their thing
Yeah.
and what they're saying and how for a lot of times for me it's how you're living your life.
Yeah.
You know, and I can respect that person, so I listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
I've had some people who, I mean, they have a lot good going for them,
Yeah.
but I just don't respect them as men. So I'd rather just not even listen to it.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like that's why I did ask you, like, how did you manage it to do without a mentor? Because nowadays, like, everyone sounds like a mentor, but like many people, it's fake, right?
Yeah.
And then other people too haven't got to that life they're telling you about, you know?
True.
And then for me, that's why I rather encourage a young person read the Bible.
100%.
Bible will never lie to you. Is the beginning of all wisdom, right? Once you know God, once you get close to the Holy Spirit, I will say this. I learned recently, I was struggling as well, and I asked the Holy Spirit to be my mentor. And I tell you the truth, I have no regret.
How do you do that?
I prayed.
Ask like the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
Like, Holy Spirit, lead, like, be my guidance. Like, help me. I want to become this person.
Yeah.
Like, the person I want to become, I want to be aligned to whom God has created me to be.
I see.
You know? And now it's like every morning I wake up knowing what I'm supposed to do. If I messed up, I get corrected. Like, my heart would feel heavy and stuff, right? And that has helped me more than for me to sit down and hoping that one day I will get somebody from I don't know where to be my mentor, right? Yeah. I read my books, you know. I try to watch a lot of preachers who have gone to be with the Lord because they carried so much wisdom. And I'm just watching and learning, but also the Holy Spirit can teach me and be like, I want that to be a character you should have, you know, as you're reading the Bible. So that's something I can encourage any young person who truly want to look for that mentorship.
I honestly agree with.
Yeah.
I honestly 100% concur with that, because that is something I have really got to this year. You know, like what you just said, like searching for answers through the Bible.
But it is.
You know, I used to, like, even my plans of business and all, I used to just come up with my own self, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this by this. This is what I want to do. But these days, I put God first at it.
Thank you.
You know, I put God first at it, and it's a completely new. It's new.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. It's very new.
It gets uncomfortable though. Is it only me or like also for you? Like,
it is
in the beginning.
I mean, it's not as uncomfortable for me. It's just unfamiliar. Yeah. You know, I have so many questions sometimes. Yeah. And I don't know what to ask sometimes. Yeah. And good thing with Miracle Arena, I have guys like yourself, other people, the members that if you ask them, I always ask them a lot of questions. Sometimes I sound so naive when my questioning, but I just want to understand a little bit more so I can know how to connect. Yeah. You know, like just recently I had this switch of companies that I was making, and it was weighing so heavy on me. I didn't know how to go about it. You know, then I mean, spoke to Prophet a little bit about it. Yeah. And then, you know, I was expecting something different. Yeah. I just said, like, read a Bible verse.
Thank you. You see?
And I read that, and I just I read it the first time. Yeah. I was like, okay. But I kept reading. I was like, I really, exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Please let me understand what I'm reading. Yeah. I need to understand what I'm reading. Yeah. And as time goes by, I kept reading it, and eventually I actually consumed it. I understood it. And this is when it actually clocked at me. I'm like, so this is what it is. Yeah. You know, and from there, 100%, I'll say for sure, putting God first is the main thing. And also pretty much put God first.
Yeah, that's it. Because for me, to be honest, it's God first. Then obviously everybody knows. Like, I look up to my spiritual mother.
Yeah.
So that's like a second person, like, because I don't know her life behind, what we see, So like that's why what you said is true. Like, respect the person. Look up to them, using the eyes of respect.
Yeah.
And yeah, but God first, and that's all you need.
No, I will 100% say that.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to be misled in so much of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so much stuff that I want to build. There's so much stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
And I just feel sometimes if you don't, I've been trying to do it the way I've been doing it, and I've had a lot of challenges. But since I've committed in this direction, there's still challenges. But I feel like there's at least somebody I can go pray and surrender type of thing.
That's why I love prayer. Yeah, that's why I love prayer.
I never understood how to pray.
We will talk about it. I love prayer. I enjoy prayer. So
I never understood until I heard him talk about all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I never understood. Like, I kid you not. Like, a lot of the, call it preaching assignments. A lot of the preachings that have been going on. Like, I could tell some of the major one, like crying. I never understood a bunch about crying, like a man crying and all this. That I connected with that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just so I didn't know all those things were in the Bible.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I would read the Bible. I always read like one chapter, or I'll read what my mom sends me, or my sister sends me, or my friend sends me.
Yeah.
But now I go to it.
Wow, that's good.
I go to it with clear understanding. But you know what? I should say this. It's easy for me to say this now because you've gone through a little bit.
Yeah.
When somebody's younger who's watching this might look at it and I'm like, man, that's too much. I want to have a good time,
Yeah.
And I get it. Though, so this is the tricky part when I talk to people about this. It's definitely put God first.
Yes. 100%, yeah.
And also make sure, I used to have this thing where I'm like, everything I do, I make sure I'm ethical. I'm ethical in what I'm doing. So just know the clear difference between right and wrong. You don't have to get all sentimental about it. Just have a clear understanding between right and wrong. When you're going out, when you're doing some crazy stuff, when you're out there doing some crazy stuff. What?
Before I used to smoke, I used to pray and then I would smoke and pray after.
So for you didn't know what's right and wrong.
I knew it was wrong, but I would pray. I love prayer to the point I'm addicted. Like, before I truly take that
So wait a minute.
split,
So
I had to pray.
you go to church, pray, smoke, come in.
Even the days off from church, I will pray first. I'm like, Holy Spirit, I tried to hold it. It's not working. And I will smoke.
How are you doing with that now?
I don't smoke anymore. I don't even remember the last time I smoked.
That's beautiful.
That's why I say people try to rush things. No. Take your time.
No, you need to rush that.
No, fam. When you rush it, you don't come out. You keep going back. But seriously, when you take everything, listen, now I know how to pray. I prayed, and then maybe for 3 weeks I didn't smoke. And then one day, poof, I feel like smoking. It's in front of me. I smoke.
But listen to this as well. It also depends on your surroundings.
100%. But also, listen, now you can go and buy it yourself.
No, but if you have the right surroundings around you, you'll naturally stop it.
It's true. 100%.
Like I'll say, if I was not, so yes, if God for sure, but if I did not have my friends in Calgary, because I started working out, my closest friend, my brother, pretty much, Omar, he's the one who introduced me to working out, really.
Yeah.
And when I showed up, I was ridiculously timid.
Yeah.
So this is actually another thing that helped.
Yeah.
Working out has helped me tremendously.
Wow.
Kept me sane in the sense of I go to it when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling bad. Yeah. Having a clear routine. I know people don't like routines, but having a clear routine, I think as a man, it's important to have that.
Yeah.
I can only speak for men. I don't know about women.
It's the same thing.
I think as a man, it's very important to have a routine. like you can teeter off the routine a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think it's very important
It is important.
to have one. It doesn't have to be one that you see on social media, like one that works for you that you can actually stick with.
100%.
For me, working out was a huge thing. Going to the gym, or either doing something physical, kept me on track. So there are times where, I'll go out and get drunk, and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And the next day, I still have to show up
To the gym.
to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I have commitment with Omar. At this time, he was my trainer.
Oh, okay.
He was my trainer, then he became a friend. We became really close friends.
Yeah.
Like, this guy will get me to work out with his girlfriend in the beginning, and his girlfriend was outshining me, and I'm like, why are you doing that to me? It was so bad. But the thing is, at that time, it was crazy. But the thing is, that honestly has helped me a lot.
Yeah. To discipline
So
yourself.
I think even that's another thing. If somebody's watching, like, getting, like, it's discipline is important. Discipline allows you to do other things.
100%.
And you have something to fall back to.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have your routine to fall back to, if you don't have, like, yes, you can go a week and you're not doing what you need to be doing,
It's
but
laziness, though.
you can still go back to this, and slowly but slowly you get yourself back up there.
Yeah.
I
feel like what kills laziness actually is a routine and knowing that you must do it. You have no other
100%.
choice out of it.
100%.
Yeah.
And you're doing it, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, whether you haven't, like, it just kept me grounded with real estate.
Mm-hmm.
With real estate, it was more like from doing a deal all the way up until like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I always said, I'm still going to the gym in the morning.
Consistency.
Because there are times where you get a really good deal, like you've been negotiating for a long time, you're excited, and you're like, oh, that commission check is gonna be amazing. Then the next day you feel like you don't even get paid the next day. You feel you start looking at freaking all the things you're gonna buy and stuff. It's so bad, actually.
Yeah.
But working out helped me a lot with that.
Mental health as well, everything.
100%.
Okay.
100%. So I think having something to fall back to is very important.
Yeah. I agree. But my last question is this: what is something would you tell your younger self?
My younger self, like, stay patient, apply what you learn, and take action. Pretty much is what I would say, really, because there's so many things that I was learning, but I also took time in the application for it. I would read, watch all these things, but my application behind it was not as it should be. Because, if I applied it and I just stayed patient, it could have been different story, pretty much. So I'll say, patient, obviously learn and apply what you're learning. Ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me a little bit about your spiritual journey.
Oh, that is everywhere, though. Like,
is it everywhere? I've never heard of it.
Okay. So, okay. It started from the time my mom was pregnant.
Okay.
And my grandma, at that time, she was Catholic.
Yeah.
And the exact year that I was, like, supposed to be born, she accepted Jesus Christ as her Lord and personal Savior. And then the time of delivery, my mom had C-section with my older brother.
Okay.
And then now, it's my turn to come out. The doctor said, listen, we have to do a C-section. We cannot let her deliver. My grandma said no. And then she started praying. As she started praying, I came out safe. And the doctors were amazed. They say, indeed, this can only be prayer, right? Because they left the room. They said, if this woman died and the child died, that's none of our business. Because we told you we have to do C-section. Yeah. And I think that gave a certain gift in me from that young age of loving praying. So from a young age, I love to be at church. So I will always be at church with my grandma.
I see.
Then we came to Canada. I felt like Jesus rejected me. I'm at the age of 14. I'm praying to him. I need a church. I couldn't find a church to stay in. One of my friends at the age of 16 tells me about Miracle Arena. But then I'm like, yo, like, he rejected me. Who cares? At that time, I'm already smoking, drinking, partying, like, And then one time, I remember at the age of 12, one of my grandma's friends said, ask God to use you at a young age. And then I just told God, my God, I'm still young. Just use me when I'm 18. Tell me why all of the foolishness I did at the age of 18, once I turned 18 on November 13th. The time we go back to school, that was like in February after Christmas, all those things. One of my friends, she's sitting down watching her church service. And I'm like, wait, what are you watching? She's like, oh, this is my church. Imagine these people, we've been going to the same school since September. But November is my birthday. Then now in January, actually, she invites me to her church. And that's Miracle Arena.
No way.
Yeah. And then even when I started with Miracle Arena, I was still smoking, leading prayers. I was still smoking, being in the choir. Like, I wasn't...
You in the choir too?
Yeah.
Jeez, Bella. Okay, keep going.
And then I could say the mercy of God and his hand is upon me that no man can take the glory. And then through life, I love God. So me, I told you, like, I will pray before I do anything. And then I'll pray after when it's done. I'm sorry, like, you know. And then I'm a type of person, my testimony, it can only be God. Then from there, I already knew my Bible, you know, because I started going from a young age with my grandma. Yeah. I know how to worship, I know how to pray. I started speaking in tongues when I was 13. Like, you know, I've been flowing. So when I
speaking tongues when you're 13.
13. We did a 3 days dry. Everybody was telling me.
Did that happen like naturally?
Yeah. We did 3 days dry at church. It was for the older people. They didn't think I would do it.
You did a 3-day dry fast at 13.
Nobody thought I could do it.
You did that?
Yeah. They were like, you shouldn't do it. You're so young. I'm like, if you guys are doing it, I'm doing it. Listen, me, I love God. Everybody went home. Me, I would stay at church. You know, at that time, we were back home and I was in the choir back home as well. And so that's how I love God. So at the age of 13, I started speaking in tongues. When I came here, I see people are struggling to speak in tongues. I'm smoking and still speaking in tongues. It was crazy for me. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And he humbled me though. And then I realized the reason why God allowed that thing to happen. Yeah. I would have been a judgmental Christian.
Okay.
Because from young age, being in the church, and I just told you, like, I spoke in tongues at 13, and you're how old you don't speak in tongues, and you go to church every day, I would have been so judgmental. So now every single time, it doesn't matter what sin you do, I know there is grace.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually really beautiful. I like that.
So he taught me to, like, I don't judge no one. I understand people can mess up, can fall, and I know there's grace. So for me, it was a lesson. And for me to think in my own strength, I can stop smoking. In my own strength, like, I can stop, you know.
You didn't go to, like, any, like, boot camp type of thing? Like, for, like, it's not boot camp. Like, the smoking thing. What do you call it?
No, I didn't.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, to stop smoking, no?
Yeah, like the coin that people have.
No, I never.
You never did that?
No.
Oh,
Me, one thing I was always scared of, to start drinking. Because in, like, Burundian people, because I was born in Burundi, the women, once they start drinking, they don't stop. So I was always scared of drinking because I'm like, I'm not going to get near that.
That's a Burundi thing?
Yeah. Even men and women, it's crazy. So me, I was like, I will never get near that, right? But smoking, I was, like, I don't want to say addicted, but I was addicted. Like, it would be impossible for me to sit here with that I smoked earlier, or I know for sure I'm about to smoke after this, you know? And by God's grace, yeah, I don't remember the last time I smoked. I tried to use my own strength to say, like, I can stop smoking. Listen, within 6 months, I went back to smoking heavy. So I even was taking drugs. I sniffed some drugs. I have done many things.
Seriously?
Yeah. I was down
You're a
in
real
there.
testimony.
I am. Yeah, I used to be called a crackhead in high school.
Say what?
Yeah. When I see people on the street, not only weed, like different things.
Like, were you on the crack mentality?
Like, I almost got there.
Damn, Bella.
Yeah. I was
Look
really
at you
bad.
now, though.
Grace, fam. Grace.
That's amazing.
Grace.
And how are you doing now?
Pretty good. I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I want to save people. When I see people on the street, like, they lost their mind.
But you're empathetic a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually...
Yeah. It's grace.
That's beautiful. Honestly, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I would have been on that thing because I have a very addictive personality.
Yeah.
I understood that early.
Yeah.
But, the good thing is I hate smoking. I can't even stand the smell of it.
Really?
I can't.
Do you know, when I was
I
young,
can't even date a girl that smokes.
I used to be like that. I used to be, like, I would get sick to smell the smoke.
I can't, like, particularly the after in your mouth.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
yeah.
I have to hold my breath.
That was me. I couldn't stand. But you're sitting there, you're smoking. I couldn't. I would
I'm
get
telling
sick.
you, I can't. There's a girl that I was dating.
Yeah.
Started dating. She was incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
But she smoked.
She smoked, and I told her, like, listen, either you quit or we're done.
So you broke up because of smoking?
No, she stopped smoking for some time.
Oh, she likes you. Because that's hard.
I don't know where she's at right now, but.
So you made this girl stop smoking and you left her.
Listen, maybe I was just, you know what they say? I was just in there for the season of stop smoking.
Yeah, maybe. No,
but that's honestly,
yeah.
That's beautiful, Bella. That's
it's great.
You wouldn't tell, you know?
You can, that's why
you didn't
great.
Tell.
I feel like for me, it was God to teach me, Bella, don't be judgmental.
Yeah.
Because if without that, I won't understand the power of grace and the blood of Jesus Christ.
Sure.
Yeah. That's it. So actually, the way I stopped fully from smoking, we were in church, and then at that time I wasn't smoking for the longest. And then the man of God called people to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and personal Savior. I'm like, oh, that's for people, who, me, I've been good, Yeah. And I closed my eyes. I saw some water falling like a fountain or something, And I said, God, what's that? And then he said, go at the front and drink upon. It's Jesus who said, go there and drink on my well. And I was like, why do I have to go? I was so scared to go because I'm like, people was going to judge me. Why am I going to the front? And then I've been in the church for long. I think I've accepted Jesus Christ. Why am I going there? Yeah. So the time I went there, I tell the truth, that thirst has gone. Like,
really?
Yeah. It's an encounter. I have a long story, listen.
That's intense.
I have a long story.
How come I don't know about this?
Nobody knows. I don't speak about it much. Yeah, even I almost got initiated for the witchcraft. Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah, we get deep in that.
You got initiated.
I almost got initiated. Like I was at the table.
How do you almost get in? How
in
do
the
you
dream?
Get
they come in a dream and they're consistent, And the day where I think the initiation is supposed to happen, I was sitting there and. What I supposed to take was presented to me, blood and like a meat. And
it felt like you're physically there.
There, yeah. And then the skeleton person was there, too dark. I couldn't tell. And all I saw was a light. And then I came out. From then, it been story. I've been told that if I dare try to preach the gospel, or if I dare try to share the word of God, they will kill me. And I said, come. I'm ready for that.
And Prophet Coffee Downs prayed for you?
I haven't told him, actually. I don't think I've told him.
Why not?
I don't know. Like, that's why I shy off from serving God. Because, Yeah.
That's heavy. You should probably...
I will.
That's intense, though.
It is intense. I've been through it. But
that stuff actually... I'm not curious about it.
Yeah.
When I hear it, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's intense. That's why you see the younger people when prophet calls them, because that's the importance of being under prophet. It's only a prophet can see it. Fam, they come in witches, they're consistent. They don't miss the hour and the time. That's why I get bothered with Christians who sleep through the whole night. I get bothered. I cannot understand you. Why are you sleeping? There's a season I was scared of night. The time it start being dark, guess what? I'm awake until I see the light outside again because I cannot dare sleep.
That's intense,
Yeah. Now that's why when I pray, I say I love prayer.
But now you sleep good, like after prayer and all that.
I'm chilling. I'm not scared of demons. I'm not bothered.
Listen, let me just focus on real estate and no demons. Build a family, be good,
Yeah, no, you build your family, but you need to, as a man, you have to know you are the head.
No, but you see, okay, that's one thing I understood even better. Because I always had, you always have this mentality of yeah, I'll be the man and all this, I'm the head. But you don't really understand that actually requires you to be in fellowship, really be in like the Bible, understanding what God wants from you, like prayer and all this. So I'm happy a lot of the relationship that I was in before did not surpassed, because yes, I was in there in prayer, but I was not to the magnitude that I am right now. You know, because now I have a clear understanding. Like, you have to really surrender in that sense, you know, for you to be able to be the head, as you're saying.
Yeah, it's
You know?
powerful.
And I think a lot of people don't have that understanding.
Okay, one day let's do something. Actually, talk about it. I'm down.
Tell me when.
Yeah,
I'm
because
good
a
to
lot of
go.
people ask me, "Oh, why don't you want to get married? Who do you want to get married with?" Like, bro, you need to understand prayer.
You don't want to get married.
I want to get married,
Okay.
but the man have to understand what he is in the spirit.
No, 100%.
Because what I thought, I know for a fact, if I dare like bring a child on this earth, if I'm not that strong, or the one I'm with is not that strong, it's an entrance for attack for my kids. And I don't want any of my children to go through that.
Yeah.
So that's why I understand the power of the blood.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, you have to understand your authority as a Christian.
That's right.
And then you can bring somebody who just, you're going to be the one always carrying that prayer. It can be too much. So that's why you need somebody who is higher than you to understand, to balance it.
Wow. I mean, listen, that's a good one. How do you know you're higher than somebody in spirit? Like, that person is in that spiritual highness. I don't know.
The maturity in the things of God, you will see it.
Really?
Yeah. And then as you pray, to be honest, you can know how heavy the person is.
You feel that?
I won't say feeling, but you see it.
Really?
Yeah.
But there could be, I mean, I've seen some chickas who are deep in prayer, but they're not.
No.
Really.
You can't. There's a certain spiritual side you get with God where He can entrust you with information.
I see. I see.
Know? I can be talking to you and I know what you're struggling with right now.
How?
He tells you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you could tell.
No.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Because you have to understand, like, the authority you have as a Christian is like, in right now where we are, spiritually, there is a movement.
Sure.
So as a Christian, you have to understand your authority, that no matter what movement is going on, it doesn't touch you or near the person you love or you are nearby.
Yeah.
So for you to always have that authority, that's why Jesus always prayed around certain hours. The moment you are a Christian and you sleep through all night, I apologize to say, I don't know. Yeah. I feel bad. You cannot.
No, I understand that part of sleeping through all, I never really used to understand.
Yeah, but now you understand. Yeah.
Because there are times where I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I understand a little bit now. I don't understand it fully, but I understand a little bit.
Okay.
You know, that's why I come to church and I just sit and I just absorb, I listen. Yeah. You know, because the information, honestly, sometimes the information is heavy. You know, and I'm those type of people who go, I think. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I even go back and I listen back a little bit to understand what is he talking about, really, to understand, to have a good understanding of it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, listen, I hear you. I hear you, Bella. I didn't know it was that deep.
It's deep. Like, when I became serious with God, I said, you know what? Actually, it was an encounter I had, and I had to make a decision. Either three things: follow God fully, enter into the initiation, or die. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching Bella Let's Talk. It's an honor to talk to you. I'm always honored that you guys are following. Please follow him on Instagram so you get to know what's happening.
Yeah, please do.
And then also follow Bella Let's Talk on every social media. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. The only last word I can encourage you is to read the book of Acts. The Bible said that Saul, you know, it's a funny part when Saul started preaching again, you know, when he started his ministry. It's funny how he approached the disciples, those who've been with Jesus, but yet they rejected him. Can you imagine? So he's a man who wrote the whole half of the whole New Testament, right? But he was also one time rejected. The disciple didn't believe he was a disciple. They didn't want him to be among them. But the funny part about everything is that know where you're sitting. He was a disciple for Jesus Christ, but he was not to be among the disciples. He was called to be an apostle. And if you read the Bible carefully, the Bible said now he went near the apostles. So understand where you stand, understand your goal, your the reason of your life, and everything will flow. As a Clement shared his story. He was at the age of 18, being in this country, Canada, alone, but he knew what he wanted. He had a focus, So stop waiting for somebody to come and help you. You'll be rejected. Nobody's saying no. I just shared the story with Apostle Paul being rejected to be a part of the disciples. And these disciples are the ones who are with Jesus, but yet they didn't believe that Apostle Paul it was a disciple. So men will judge you differently. They will say different things, but always have encouragement to know you're just sitting at the wrong place. They reject you at this job. Just know there's a better job for you. You got rejected with this school. Just know there's a better school for you. Don't give up in life. I encourage and love you guys. Please prepare for a seminar that will happen really soon. The reason why I'm announcing it earlier, please, if you're interested to be a part of it, send us a message, and we enjoy and having each and every one of you. And thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.